If you look carefully, you'll notice we're not on the Spyder. We're in a minivan. Yeah, a minivan.
What a difference a day makes. The mountains look so much more inviting today. Just looks like we could reach out and touch those mountains.
We left Monte Vista, Colorado, heading east towards Colorado Springs. This is a relatively short 183-mile ride. We took US 160 east to Walsenburg, Colorado, then picked up Interstate 25 north to Colorado Springs. Another mild riding day, with temperatures starting out in the low 70s and reaching the mid-80s. We had to cross another 9,000-foot pass, but was assured the weather would be fine for this crossing.
Over the eastern range of the Rockies to take us into the eastern part of Colorado, but I don't know the name of the pass. And the GPS says we're already at 9,100. Whew, I can feel it. And that pass was 9,400 and change. Just leaving Walsenburg, stopped at the convenience store, got us a cold drink, went to the bathroom, took off our liner. Temperatures outside in the 80s now. Don't think we'll need that. Oh. The reason I'm taking the interstate on this leg is Miriam did not want to go through multiple mountain passes again. We limited to the one. We're going to stop up in, I can't think of the name of the town. Maybe this sign will tell me. We're going to stop and have lunch. It's already about 1. Pueblo. Over there to the right, the Great Plains of North America. Over to the left, the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. That's a U-Haul truck. We're below 7,000 feet. We're down to about 6,000. And the air is much thicker at 6,000. Well, it's going to feel even better when I get into Kansas next week. But that's next week.
We're gonna stop for lunch in Pueblo, Colorado. It's like a cute town. It's a bit of a historic flair. It's Union Avenue, right? This is Union Avenue. There it is, right there. That's right there.
Even open?
2-hour parking, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Yep. Oh.
After completing lunch, we head over to Colorado Springs to find our Airbnb accommodations for the next 3 nights. We have reserved a basement apartment in a subdivision central to everything, and we took the rest of the day off and relaxed. Hey guys, good morning. If you look carefully, you'll notice we're not on the Spyder. We're in a minivan. Yeah, a minivan. So what's wrong with the Spyder? Nothing. It's right there. It's parked on the street. We're here in Colorado Springs. We got here yesterday, and it was a very scenic ride. If I can figure out how to drive a car again. The only problem is we're both still suffering from head colds. Just fatigued. We're at lower altitude now, so it makes things a little bit better. So today is a domestic day. We're going to go do some laundry, go to the store, and then tomorrow we'll do some sightseeing around the area. And we thought, you know what, let's just take a break from the Spyder because of all the challenges we've had, and just rent a car. So that's what we've done. We've rented a car, and so while we're in Colorado Springs, this is what we're going to be using. And I can tell you, after 3 weeks of not driving a car, it feels luxuriously sinful. Oh, how much easier this trip would have been had I just driven my car across country. But that wasn't the goal. So they're taking all the fun of it. The sleet, the wind, the rain, the flooding. They're taking all the fun of it. So we're off to do some laundry.
Get a shot of the mountain view.
Well, yeah. I tell you, even Colorado Springs, which is an urban city, much like our hometown. I've been here before on business, and I've always thought that Colorado Springs reminded me of Virginia Beach, where things are laid out. Except we have ocean, they have mountains, and the mountains are quite spectacular. Well, guys, I can safely say that I've eaten my way across most of the United States on this trip, and I haven't felt the need to do a restaurant review. We just stopped at a little place called the Mason Jar. Mason Jar.
Family owned.
Home cooked, a real home cooked meal.
Comfort food.
And what'd you have?
I had the rainbow trout, blackened, awesome, with red onion rings.
And chicken and dumplings. It was, we couldn't eat it all, so we brought some. We can take some back to the room so we can have something to snack on tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the view here is not too bad either. It's a little shadowed, but behind us is Pikes Peak here in Colorado Springs. And you're in the area, look this place up. It's at the west end of
Colorado Avenue.
Colorado Avenue and Old Colorado City. So cool. After finishing up dinner, we were heading back to our accommodations and saw the sign for Garden of the Gods. It had been on our radar scope as one of the places we wanted to visit in Colorado Springs, but had no idea it was just about 10 minutes away from our accommodations. So we headed over there to see what we could see.
The Garden of the Gods is one of the most unique and most beautiful city parks we've ever run across. The red rock formations are just gorgeous, nature's art. Some of them seem to be suspended in midair. It didn't make sense how something so heavy could have such a narrow base. And there are a variety of hiking trails. It would be a great place to bike or even ride horseback. We hiked one short trail up to the Siamese Twins formation, and that was very pretty and an easy hike. Originally, the land was a sacred spot for various Native American tribes. And at some point, the government, I guess, claimed the land, and a private citizen purchased it in the late 19th century. And then in 1909, upon his death, he actually donated the land, some 480 acres, to the city of Colorado Springs. So kind of cool. We would have liked to have spent more time there. It would be a great place to enjoy the sunset or sunrise, and definitely see more of the formations up close and personal.
We're in Garden of the Gods, Colorado Springs. Those of you who study history and are military buffs, right over there is a place called Cheyenne Mountain. It's a granite mountain, and directly underneath it is an Air Force base. It is a command and control center that was placed there during the Cold War. In theory, you could take a direct hit from a thermonuclear weapon and without inhibiting U.S. command and control.
We stumbled upon Manitou Springs almost by accident as we were leaving the Garden of the Gods. We just decided, what the heck, let's follow the sign and see what's there. It actually is a town that boasts natural mineral waters and has been a kind of tourist attraction since like the 1870s. There are a number of, cute shops and restaurants, things of that nature. The Cog Railroad that actually runs up to Pikes Peak starts at Manitou Springs. Unfortunately, it was under repair when we were there, so we weren't able to take advantage of that. But that would be a cool way to make the climb up to Pikes Peak. But definitely a spot we'd like to visit more on our next trip. There's some cliff dwellings there and Cave of the Winds that sounded interesting, and we didn't have a chance to explore any of that. So, Pikes Peak Park?
Pikes Peak Park or Pikes Peak?
Pikes Peak Park, Pikes Peak Center, Pikes Peak Way, Pikes Peak Toll Road.
I think maybe center. Are they all the same distance?
Okay, that's not it. It's
All right.
3 miles away.
In case you haven't figured out, we're heading up to Pikes Peak. We're still in Colorado Springs. That's our last full day in Colorado Springs. Tomorrow I start heading east, and so does Miriam.
Yep.
And she hasn't had enough mountains, so she decided she wants to go up Pikes Peak today.
Yeah.
So we're going to give it a shot.
8.9 miles, does that sound right?
Yeah, that's about right. Stopped at the visitor center here. Just up the road after we get into Pikes Peak. And we're already about 9,000. I'm already feeling, do you feel it? Yeah. We still have a few more thousand feet to go. Hello.
How are you guys?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
And here we have a carving of the Bigfoot creature. Apparently there have been several sightings of Bigfoot in the area throughout history in this area. There's a good chance that if the creature exists, he's on the payroll for the Colorado Department of Tourism.
The view of Pikes Peak from the little visitor center here. It's hard to believe that tomorrow I'll be almost at the Kansas line by the end of the day, and it'll be flatter than flat.
Pikes Peak is located just a few miles outside of Colorado Springs. The mountain was named after the explorer Zebulon Pike. Currently, the only way to the summit is by motor vehicle. The famous Cog Railway is closed and being renovated. From the entrance station, it's about a 19-mile drive to the top. There are 2 gift shops along the route, each offering restroom facilities and snacks. It's a comfortable drive on paved roads. The summit also offers a well-stocked gift shop and a fast food type of restaurant. Pikes Peak is 14,115 feet above sea level. If you were a pilot flying an airplane at that altitude, you would be required to use supplemental oxygen. Without the supplemental oxygen, you could expect mental impairment, a feeling of euphoria. It's kind of like being under the influence of alcohol. And then we get to get behind the wheel and drive down a steep mountain road with unforgiving drop-offs. What could possibly go wrong? Let's stop right there just for a moment. In 1893, a young lady named Catherine Lee Bates, who was an English professor at the Wesley College in Massachusetts, was offered a summer teaching position in Colorado Springs. She boarded a train and headed west across the Great Plains. While in Colorado Springs, she took the opportunity to visit Pikes Peak. The view from Pikes Peak and the memories of other things she witnessed along the train ride across America inspired her to write a poem. In 1910, the poem was published as a song. You've probably heard of it. It's called America the Beautiful. Okay, back to the video.
You say you feel a little lightheaded?
Yeah, I feel drunk is what I feel.
After leaving Pikes Peak, we headed over to Cannon City, Colorado, to visit the Royal Gorge, which is another item on my bucket list. The drive from Colorado Springs is just under an hour. The 1,200-foot deep gorge was created by erosion of the Arkansas River. It's only 50 foot wide at the bottom and 300 feet wide at the top. You have several options for crossing the gorge to reach the other side of the park, to include a gondola, walk across one of the highest suspension bridges in the world, or if you're an adrenaline junkie, you can take the zip line coming back. We walked across the bridge. In 2013, a wildfire destroyed 48 of the 52 buildings in the park.
We're at Royal Gorge, Colorado, and there's a story I got to tell you about this place. When I was a very young man in the Air Force 40 years ago, I was working in the Armory at Langley Air Force Base, and part of my job was to issue weapons to the flight crews. And one of the pilots was coming out to Colorado Springs, what was then Lowry Air Force Base, and I told him that I've always dreamed to go to Colorado and to travel there. And he said, it's a beautiful place, you should do it sometime. Well, I came back to work the next night. My supervisor said that there's a stack of brochures on the desk with my name attached. That the young pilot, while he was in Colorado Springs, had picked up a bunch of brochures and dropped them off for me. And that was incredibly touching. For years I kept those. And one of the places I've always wanted to go was this place. It was on the brochure. And it took me 40 years, but by golly, we're here. Hey guys, it's our last night together on this trip. Actually, I'm kind of sad about it, but
Yeah, me too.
it's been a good trip, even with the virus, in case you can't tell.
Excuse me.
We share many things, to include viruses.
No, it's been a really fast 10 days.
It has?
We've covered a lot of territory. How many miles do you guess we've covered?
I have no idea. We've been too busy putting down the miles to actually do the calculations. I've been keeping a running record of everything that's been going on the trip until Miriam came into town. Then my record keeping just fell apart. But I have all my notes, so I can reassemble it later.
We've enjoyed this final leg in Colorado Springs. Enjoyed Pikes Peak and Garden of the Gods and even Royal Gorge.
Royal Gorge.
Way out there.
Yeah, it was worth it. It was very scenic. Well, tomorrow my game plan is to get up and take Miriam to the airport at Colorado Springs.
Bright and early.
Bright and early, drop off the rental car that we've used because we've cheated. since we've got the head colds, we decided let's get some climate control going here for a couple days. So we did that. I'm glad we did.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow I'll mount the Spyder and head east, start heading east. Yeah, you know, it's supposed to be chilly and perhaps even rainy tomorrow, and I just hope I can stay warm and dry. My rain gear should do the trick, but cross your fingers. All right. Y'all take care. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
If you like this video, give it a thumbs up.
If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Feel free to leave a comment below.